Oh my goodness, another cracked piston. Hey everyone, this is Pick Apart. Now this is what happens when you go to a Toyota dealer at 150,000 Ks and try and get warranty. They're not happy with my simple diagnosis that takes 30 seconds. They want to pull it apart and check everything and all that and then deny you warranty because you've got a EGR delete or something apparently. So we've got a box full of bits in the back of the car. It's going to make the job a bit more complicated, like a jigsaw puzzle, but don't worry, we can get it back together. And I'm pretty sure there'll be an EGR there and it won't be deleted. So I'm not sure all this EGR delete talk, we've talked about this before, EGR delete. You know, what's an EGR delete? I mean, how do you get rid of the EGR if it's still there? You mean an EGR 0, you've been set to 0, EGR set to close, is that an EGR delete? Because to me a delete is removing something. Anyway, so this is just my understanding of the story as it is so far, and it doesn't matter which Toyota dealer. Let's just say it's one that we're not particularly fond of because we believe they've done the wrong thing by our friends before, but that's just our belief. We've got the evidence there, but they say otherwise. They say things that personally, I can't see how you could expect me to believe that in 2014, you were able to purchase injectors that were manufactured in 2009. That'd be just rubbish. And part of this jigsaw puzzle is look around, because look, there's one of the parts of the jigsaw puzzle. We'll find it all, don't you worry. This we remove when we work on the vehicle because A, it's a risk of breaking it, and of course, just it's in the way of getting to things, so that'll be removed anyway. So what I wanted to say here really is, I don't know how many kilometers the vehicle's done. At least the battery's disconnected, so I can't pull that history other than the owner's told me. I think he said 150 something or 160, somewhere there. So he's taken into the Toyota dealer, and I think given the amount of people online saying, oh, you know, just take it to Toyota, they cover these things, and look, I'll say maybe they should, because this shouldn't happen, but I also agree with leaving the mapping alone. I don't know if this has had a remap, but you know my belief, and I've got plenty of evidence to back it up, that remaps and tunes and chips are the biggest cause of cracked pistons, right? That'll happen long before old flogged injectors cracks a piston. And they're also your other main reasons, pretty straightforward, of cracked pistons, which we've discussed recently in videos and years ago in videos, and we'll continue to do so because that's what we specialize in, and we're here to help. I can't do everybody's maintenance. I can't do everybody's engine replacement. I can't do everybody's engine rebuilds, but I highly recommend you don't get an engine rebuild. I recommend you only get brand new, a genuine Toyota engine. But it's important to get the job done right. And I reckon if I took my vehicle in and I waited around days, weeks or months for this to happen to my vehicle, to be told no, I'd be a bit dirty. But depending what the real reason is, if the EGR has been set to 0, that's a good thing for the life of the engine, okay? End of story, full stop. There's heaps of vehicles that have got that and reduced EGR flow. It's only there to reduce nitrogen oxides. It's not there to make the engine last longer. Don't get confused with the cools the combustion to reduce nitrogen oxides to cools the combustion to make your engine last longer. It's got nothing to do with engine longevity. So blaming that, I don't agree with, but you know, they're entitled to their opinion out there at Toyota land, whatever it is. Now, if it's got an EGR delete and it's got a remap with that, then I'm sorry to say I've got to back up Toyota's position on chips, tunes and remaps. If they want to avoid warranty, I'm going to totally agree, because it is the number one cause. And if I was Toyota, I wouldn't be paying for engines that have been messed, the tuning's been messed with, because that's the cause of the cracked piston. So I agree on that part of it, okay? I don't agree on the EGR delete. That's like blaming a catch can. I'm not going to blame your catch can or your extra fuel filter. No, the extra fuel filter didn't prevent it. We've seen that plenty of times before, so don't worry about the extra fuel filter either. That's just more money donated to the extra fuel filter companies like the catch can companies and all that sort of stuff. Keep it simple, minimal modifications, genuine parts, quality service by following my videos, and if worst case scenario comes along, because it's got a remap. This guy, he didn't do the remap. He didn't know. He brought the car second hand. It's not his fault. He didn't know the situation. So it's a bit of a hard one. I mean, some assistance from Toyota would have been good. How about, well, you pay for the engine, we'll pay for labour, or we'll supply the engine, but you've got to pay labour. I mean, the problem you got is other kids out the back going to be able to get it right. You never know who you're going to get right. You might get lucky, you might not. They might forget nothing. They might forget a few things. They might forget a lot. I've had vehicles come to me where plenty of people have forgotten a lot, and that's why we decided, as much as I didn't want to do engine replacements, we need to have solutions. And if I'm spending hours fixing up jobs from other people because they couldn't do it right, we may as well just do it ourselves right in the first place. It's better economy for everybody. It's better value for money. It's more productive. It's more efficient to just get it right the first time, which is what we do here. You can bring the car in pieces with, I like the way they cover the turbo with some rags. And there's a rag on the compressor here. I don't know what that's for. It'd be good to cover the intercooler hose there, or maybe this one. I don't know what's been dropped down there. But not that it matters for the engine, but they haven't covered the engine. So, throw some rags around. Anyway, whatever. Look, it doesn't matter. A lot of all this stuff's got to come out. The batteries have got to come out. We need to make space to move compressors over to where the battery is, etc., etc. But there's going to be it's going to be a lot of stuff in the back, isn't there? So I've had my whinge, but this is something you haven't seen for a while, I suppose. And I wish I could read your comments in advance. So I've got to imagine and guess what the comments are going to be. Hey, show us the cracked piston. Which one's cracked? Which piston's cracked? It's always number 4. It's going to be number 4. So, well, I can tell you straight away, it's not always number 4. But let's get in there and have a look and see if we can see which piston is cracked. And importantly, what we'll look at on this engine, maybe in another video, because I'll try and keep them to about 10 minutes and we're already up to 7. Have a closer look at the pistons to see if any of the others have started cracking. Let me be clear, it's always remaps and chips and tunes that have the cracked pistons at lower kilometres. That's what I've seen. All right, I'm going to turn the light on and we're going to get in a bit closer. Dun, 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 dun. All right, you can have a good look at number 1. I'll hold it still. You see what you can see. That's number 1. That's what it looks like. You can put in the comments, all the experts. I'll be reading the comments. I'll work out who's an expert and who's not. I know who's who in the zoo. You listen to me and get to know me, or I read you and I get to know you. And a lot of people think they know it all, and I don't. I'll say straight away, because I see how many people think they know it all, and it's a good reminder to remember, we don't know it all and we're not always right. These ones look all right. Bit of coolant staining, probably. And it's always number 4. Well, it's not this time, but you can see this time it's number 4. Not quite square across there this time, but almost. It's kind of the usual, but they also get the crack on the other side of the piston as well. So, they can crack. The cracks can go this way as well, although they generally always crack through that way. They quack a bit too. Quack an egg and a little chicken, it's all quacking everywhere. But number 4 piston is definitely cracked. So I don't know if Toyota Motor Corporation Australia requires photos of the hole in the piston to approve a warranty or not. But what would make sense to me is, hey, plug in and see if there's any modifications to the computer, the ECU mapping, before you do any of this major work. Waste your time that someone's got to pay for, because we're going to knock them back, right? So we've got problems here, because in my opinion, not acceptable. A, this shouldn't happen. B, yep, Toyota should probably cover them all. Maybe they haven't had the opportunity to cover them all. Maybe they would. But I don't care if it happens at 300 or 400 or 500,000 Ks. They shouldn't crack pistons. And there's no program out there from Toyota warning people of what could happen and what maintenance needs to be done in prevention. There's no maintenance program for 300,000, 400,000, 500,000, 600,000 kilometre vehicles, other than mine. There's no program. I mean, the same service continues, I guess. But no, more things need to be done as the vehicle. Look, when these were designed and engineered, mate, the Japanese back in Japan, when they organised all this stuff, they didn't think that Aussies were going to be bashing these around the Australian outback at 400,000 Ks, which I am, okay? Because I am, and I do the 120, and I'm going to start doing that with a 150 as well. And you know what? If she wants to follow me in the 120, she can continue past 500,000 kilometres, and I'll be there to make sure the vehicle stays on the road and follows along the 150 that we're bringing back to like new again as well. Spare no expense. What am I going to do? Spend 20 or 30 grand on an old car, 10 years old, 12 years old, make it like new again. Much better value than spend 100 on a pus bucket. But anyway, that's another story. Once the vehicles get older, there is other things that need to be done. And I just thought it's a good opportunity to show you around a few things with the head off, because we haven't done this lately. Right, you know, obviously that's the coolant area. Head studs go in these holes here. You can see the location. More coolant passageways there. It's also oil galleries, a little bit smaller, bigger, sorry, you know, oil drops down here. You know, when you drop something in on the head and you wonder where it's going to go, it's really just going to drop through that hole, down through this hole, and straight down to the sump and sit down on top of your sump plug. And it's probably not going to get in the way of anything, really. There's your diff breathers and transfer case breathers at the back there. Your bell housing bolt up the top there, quite difficult to get to for doing the engine change. And there's a whole lot of stuff down underneath here. Like I said, it'd be way hard to do a video, but just wanted to show you this one and have a bit of a chat, share some info, get you thinking, help you out, hopefully. What do you think? I mean, if Toyota were going to knock it back based on software, then don't you think they should check that first? Let me know in the comments. If you made it to the end of the video, good work. You're getting yourself educated. I need to share all this information so people can just stop asking me questions, use the info, and maintain their vehicles. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.